Adams. I'm from Florida in the United States. I have created, with some assistance, a team of students ages 10 to 20, and we actually design, build, test, and fly CubeSats. One of my students today, making her first presentation internationally, is Hariette Gu, and we just wanted to, I wanted to introduce her and quickly let you know about the organization that she is a part of. So in the United States, in order to advance students in a way that's not often done, we created LLCs, limited liability corporations, and also a nonprofit company so that students would have opportunities to do real, authentic, and hands-on research. So here you can see our organizations that students like Hariette work through. Very briefly, here is a history of our satellites. We were the first school in the United States with 12 to 14-year-olds selected by NASA for a CubeSat launch in 2018. We launched our second in 2022. FlipSat is supposed to launch in a few days, but SpaceX had a hiccup. So the principal investigator for that mission is actually Theo, who is just graduated high school, and that is his mission that he has carried from middle school on, and that was looking at bit flips. And then we were selected by Firefly Aerospace for a launch next year on the Wolfpack 1, another satellite of ours that will be flying extremophile bacteria. So I've said that to introduce Hariette, and now she is going to share with you about her research into AI and agriculture.
Thank you, Mr. Simmons. Hello, my name is Hariette Gu. I'm 12 years old and I'm a rising freshman at Suncoast High School back in my home state of Florida, and I've been part of the Wolfpack for about 2 years now. So in order to send humans into deep space, we're going to need to supply them with natural resources, i.e. food, in order for them to survive. So the most obvious way to do this would be to provide them with prepackaged foods, as we've done for every other crewed mission. But the thing is, prepackaged foods have short shelf lives of around 2 to 5 years and will most likely not be able to withstand the entire duration of a deep space mission trip. So a way to combat this would be to do deep space agriculture. But the thing is, deep space has a lot of environmental problems that could make space farming difficult or even impossible. The main one being radiation, or more specifically, cosmic radiation. Cosmic radiation are high energy particles that are constantly bombarding the Earth, but most of them are blocked by the Earth's magnetic field. And one of the more common cosmic radiations are gamma rays. Gamma rays have energy levels reaching as high as 100 kilovolts, making them powerful enough to penetrate cells, including plant cells. So when the radiation penetrates cells, they can either cause direct damage to the DNA or cell compounds, or they can create free radicals inside of the cell, which would also cause damage to the DNA, both of which would eventually lead to cell death or at least some mutation. But we really haven't had to worry about radiation in space farming, because ever since we started sending humans into space, we've been sending them with prepackaged foods, as you can see on the screen right here. And the ISS, of course, is no exception to this, but the thing is, the ISS is the only space structure with a working farming unit, the Vegetable Production System, or VEGI. So there are actually 3 veggie chambers on the ISS, and each can hold about 6 plants at a time. As you can sort of see on the screen right here, each plant is connected to their own clay-based fertilizer filled pedal that's used to distribute water and nutrients to the plants. And besides the plant part of veggie, there are 3 additional parts. A water reservoir, which is connected to the plant petals in order to avoid direct contact with each plant, air bellows used to control airflow and pressure, and an LED bank that mainly shines magenta, since plants tend to absorb red and blue light and reflect green. And surprisingly, the veggie units aren't the only farming units on the ISS. There's also the Advanced Plant Habitat, or APH. The Advanced Plant Habitat is a fully automated plant life support system, and it can hold plants up to 135 days. And although it functions much like veggie, it has a much more range in the light frequencies it can use, from your typical red, green, and blue to wide and even infrared. So farming in space, or at least on the APH, is definitely a lot less hands-on than it is on Earth, which is why some Earth farmers have actually acquired the use of AI in a farming method called precision agriculture. So one way to do precision agriculture is to use satellite images and then use supervised machine learning to analyze those images. You can see an example of this on the screen right here. Of course, precision agriculture isn't always limited to satellite imagery. For example, you can also take biosensors and put them in your water source, and then the AI will detect pathogens and alkalinity and then make recommendations based off its analysis. So now we know how to use AI on Earth farming, we want to apply it into space. So I'm just going to give a brief rundown on what machine learning is. It's basically just a subset of AI that uses algorithms, past data, past experiences to learn or make decisions. Most of machine learning procedures require collections of data, also known as data sets, such as supervised machine learning, the machine learning that's used in precision agriculture. So supervised machine learning is a machine learning program that takes labeled data and tries to find sequences and structures in the data. So we can use supervised machine learning in space farming by having it analyze the values given to it by cameras and biosensors. I'll get more into that later. There's some other types of machine learning that I think we could use, such as case-based reasoning, which is a machine learning program that takes its past experiences to learn, not data, experiences, similar to how we humans naturally learn, making it a lot more complex than other types of machine learning. There are also genetic algorithms. They're also very complex since they stimulate natural selection in order to find the quote-unquote fittest solution to a problem. So, of course, supporting space agriculture isn't just limited to technology. We can also use microbes. There have been several ISS experiments on microbes, such as BioRisk MSV, which has actually found a radiation-resistant microbe called Deinococcus radiodurans, which survived up to 3 years on the ISS by absorbing radiation, similar to how another bacteria, cyanobacteria, managed to survive Fukushima and Chernobyl. But the thing is about cyanobacteria, we really can't use cyanobacteria for space farming because when too much cyanobacteria is near a plant, the bacteria tends to generate an overabundance of oxygen, which would prevent photosynthesis and ultimately kill the plant. But the next microbes I want to talk about are melanon microbes. They were found inside of plants that managed to survive Chernobyl. They kept the plants alive by converting radiation into bioenergy, similar to how photosynthesis turns the sun into bioenergy. So now we have all this background. How do we apply to space agriculture? So we can use a camera to take repetitive photos of each plant, and then a spectrometer to read the radiation around it, and then we can use supervised machine learning or case-based reasoning to analyze that data to find any plants at risk of or have the radiation-induced mutations. I didn't mention this before, but genetic algorithms are actually able to align DNA sequences, so we can use those to find any DNA irregularities in the crops. We can get the images of the crops by using an electron microscope, and then if any of the AI programs find any radiation-induced dangers, the plant could be injected with melanine microorganisms. We can also use AI in automated production facilities by having the aforementioned biosensors that were used in precision agriculture to be placed in the water reservoir and near the plants to find any pathogens. And then the AI would then assess the severity of the disease and then make recommendations based off its analysis. We can do the same thing to automate the LED bank in order to accommodate to each plant's life requirements. So the ideal camera and spectrometer to use would be the RADCam from micro cameras in space exploration and the Gemini Plus spectrometer. So because they're both radiation hardened. And we could use Veggie or the APH as a model, but the thing is, even the APH is very small and would not be able to feed an entire crew for the duration of a deep space mission, so we have to scale it up using AI. We can do this by having case-based reasoning, find the best nutrients to put in each plant pillow in order to promote the most growth. And we can also use genetic algorithms to find the best nutrients to put in the pillow in order to prevent the risk of nutrient toxicity. And we could potentially use radiation shielding, but the thing is, the most effective radiation shielding is lead, And lead is way too heavy to be put on a spaceship, and also it can't really be put near a food source due to the risk of lead poisoning. And there are some other materials, but they also have their problems. So in summary, increased on-site food production will be a vital component if we want to advance human space exploration and hopefully eventual colonization. And by applying AI and machine learning, we will be able to improve the quality and quantity of space plants and potentially reduce the amount of human intervention required to mass produce food in space. Thank you. Any questions?
Question and comment?